Madam. So, hello all, and I see kind of a group participation here, and some of them kind of known to me, and some from the local center also. Thank you for taking the time to join. So I think I have approximately around 45 minutes, so I will try to give a few tidbits about my journey and try to link it up with Vethathirum practices, principles, and philosophy. And probably try to elucidate a few case scenarios and studies, not actually in terms of real study, but more of scenarios and participant feedback and studies, which kind of evolved, and then see where we can go from here from a messaging standpoint, and also try to reach a better understanding in the current context, especially the post-pandemic era of COVID. I shouldn't say post, it's still a problem. So, okay, without much ado, so let me just get started here. So briefly, I will make it very brief in 3 minutes about how I got into this, because it's going to have a context to how I'm going to explain some of the principles and practices which I started imbibing slowly and steadily. Having said that, essentially, I was a typical Indian kid who was growing up in India, and obviously, I'm a Hindu, but that doesn't matter. But you need some religion. So I was raised as a Hindu. And in the course of time, as I was going through my schooling, early schooling, and then the pressures of high school and so on, the only thing which I could remember from my grandparents or my parents was, go to the temple, pray, and then come back, and then you will have calmness and then go about it, or play hard and improve so that your physical body is fit, and then go to the temple so you're calm, so your mental strength is good, and you're also very calm, which was one of the traits they observed in me. Now, this was a little challenging, but as a beautiful son and a grandson, I followed it, and having raised in Mylapore in Chennai, so with a lot of temples nearby, I was influenced a lot by that. But if I look back now, after all these years of 30 plus or 40 years now, I look back and I'm like, okay, it was probably the inefficiency or the lack of skill for someone to come in and step in and tell me, what is it that you're doing as an individual, and why you need to do this. And the second part of it, more about fear and anxiety, if I can say that. It was more about the anxiety of trying to get into a good school, trying to get into a good college, trying to get into a good professional career, trying to be a good son, trying to be a good father, trying to be a good good grandfather later on, probably in the later years. So this is the kind of anxiety which was always building up in me, and the fear was also building up. So I really did not have, but it was always there, and I kept on going at it and say, okay, this is how it seems to be, and I need to follow it. And then finally I joined Vewa. After taking up engineering, I didn't like it, and I joined vet school, which was more kind of not a paramedical profession, but a para-allied profession. But it enabled me to connect to the common man much easily, because I could connect to the real farming community, which was the base of the wheels of economy in India at that time. Now, why do I say this is because once I finished vet school, again, the same thing, we were taught a lot of concepts, a lot of knowledge, a lot of information. But then when it came to as an individual, I really lacked it. And I really was struggling to figure out as to how do I put myself together. Of course, I was a sportsman, I was playing, and at the same time, I was also going to the temple and following some practices, attending some religious ceremonies. And, this will all be temporary. I mean, you go there, you feel good. After 1 or 2 days, it comes back to the same routine. So these were things which are going around, and then eventually through sweat and fear and probably push or pull, however you might say it, managed to get into a grad school and come to US and then start my studies. But then the US is not the same what you're thinking 30 years ago or 35 years ago, when it was a lonely place for an incoming student at that time. So I was lost. The culture was different. The society was different. I really was looking for something which I could lean on to, so that which should keep myself going as an individual, and at the same time keep me complete as a person. Again, the same challenges. I was following this fractured information, fractured practices, however I could get it here and there. So this is how my journey continued. But then I started I had a very major emotional baggage at that point, wherein when I was a student, I lost my dad. And that gave me a lot of emotional baggage to self. And when that kind of emotional baggage hits you, you don't know how to handle the grief. One is the grief of losing somebody very close to you. And the second is, you are the breadwinner. And the third is, how do I go from here? Is this what my life is going to be? Am I going to be grieving and brooding and being anxious about it all over? Or do I need to come out of this? Again, I wish somebody had introduced me to Vethathirum at that point, but I did not have the opportunity. I did not have the chance. So what I'm trying to say is, here is a complete institution which is built in with very structured practices, very structured practices and very good principles, which has a dogma of science, and at the same time which reaches to the common man at a very philosophical and a very intuitive level. So that was an institution which I never knew, and I was still struggling to find out that kind of institution. So I attended a lot of sessions here and there, and then I went about it. But one thing which stuck to me was when my advisor, who was my student advisor for my projects and so on, he said, Prasad, remember one thing. Now, he said it in a different context. He said, a philosophy which is there generally takes around 30 to 50 years to become a science. That is when science eventually catches up and then tells you that this is what, this is the proof, this is the evidence, and then it kind of illustrates or proves the philosophy wrong or right, or continues the philosophy to the next level. This takes a good 30 to 50 years, is what he said. And then subsequently, for a science to translate into a product which can be used by the common man, including me, it can take 10 to 20 years, depending on the technology available and so on. And then comes the benefits of the product to the common man in many ways. That is when the economics of it trigger in, and then you go start seeing the benefits of it and how it can be used in a proper way, in a proper channel. Look, economics, business, marketing, these are not bad words. These are all good words, as long as you know how to manage it and take the content correctly. And that is when Vethathirum stepped in big time. That is where Swamiji has given us a beautiful direction. So this principle kind of, before my entry into Vethathirum, stood with me or stayed with me with my deep memory. Again, as I said, I kept continuing and going along, and during my career, I started moving along. And then, having grown up in India, you are looking for the survival of the fittest. And you're looking to compete hard. You want to be the first. But along with being the first, you don't realize that, you're not only torturing yourself, or you're probably hurting others, or in the process, you're realizing you don't even have a life. Then comes the competitive spirit, survival of the fittest, because we are a developed economy in India. And so survival of the fittest, unlike the US, which is more on a developed economy. So the survival of the fittest was a big thing, and those traits are very deeply embedded in you, right from your childhood or from your predecessors and so on, which again, I didn't have a satisfactory explanation. And I was looking to see, I was listening to people, I was listening to some books, I was reading a few here and there. We didn't have YouTube, and we were not in the internet state at that time. So these were things which were kind of precipitating again and again, and I really could not find a solution until I managed to have a short-term tenure in India, wherein I was actually staying in Valmiki Nagar in Tiruvamur, and it was just 2 streets away from our World Community Service Center. I have been to many yoga sessions, listened to many gurus, many teachings, but I really did not believe in them, or I said, well, wait a minute, what are they trying to say? Because I cannot be convinced easily unless I kind of see it or feel it myself. So then somebody suggested, here is a center, go to World Community Service Center in Valmiki. So I attended a few sessions. I attended a couple of things. I would say I went to a couple of introspection courses. I listened to the masters, but it was still a skepticism there. I hope I'm audible. Somebody texted me saying I'm not very audible. Madam Madam Bharti, can you confirm that it's okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, sorry if I'm speaking fast, I'll go slow down. So that is when somebody at Valmiki Nagar says, sir, neenga aliyar ponga. I'm taking the liberty of saying this in Tamil, assuming that most people understand. Otherwise, I'll put it in English, simply stated. They said, why did you make a visit to Aliyar? I said, what is Aliyar? Then they said there's a PDC course being conducted this year, and why don't you go there? So I thought, okay, this should be a nice yoga resort and a picnic. And I decided to go in my camping gear. And I then took off to Coimbatore and then came to Pollachi and then finally in Alia. And then I saw this temple of consciousness. And then I said, wait a minute, I've seen this before in a couple of years ago. Probably I didn't register it. Right? I didn't bother to investigate what it was. So I joined the PDC course, and that is where my first introduction to Professor Balchandran and Jayanti Madam and their son Rajshekhar happened. And I was in a typical shorts, and I recollect, if I can say this with liberty, Professor Balchandran sir, that he was observing me, probably was observing me where I come from, what is my thing, and so on. And I was just moving around with my shorts and so on. I'm talking of almost 2 decades plus, which was a little different those days. Then after 2 days, he came to me and he said, Prasad, do you have formal wear or casual wear? Or I said, sir, I have 2 pairs which I can wear, or I can go and buy something from Pollachi. But this gentleman, he kindly said, no, we can give you some kurtas, which is generally meant for professors or teaching faculty, but we would like you to have it if you're comfortable with it. I said, okay. I don't know what happened. He gave me this white uniform and I wore it. And the 3rd day when I was practicing meditation and so on, then he said, Prasad, later on in the evening, he said, do you realize you were sitting there for almost hours together? I said, sir, I have no idea. Probably that is the breakdown point, and the emotions started coming in. All the baggage which was there deep inside came out. And I don't know whether the environment and the place made a difference. Now, why I say this? 6 temperaments. Now, Maharishi has illustrated the 6 temperaments, saying that how do we manage the 6 temperaments? Because these are emotions, and that is why you are a human being. And if you cannot manage these emotions, 6 temperaments, then how can you go forward in many spaces, whether personal or professional life, or whether trying to go about spreading the message of it. So I did not know what the 6 temperaments was. Then I started taking the whole thing seriously and attended the PDC forum. And then I eventually started picking up the thread from there, and slowly, steadily got involved in Vethathirum to understand. Now, the first thing I would say here is, at this point, is let's just dive in a little bit deeper here. Physical exercises. What I have found over the last 25 years, I've seen is physical exercises we tend to overlook or compromise. I don't say this in a negative connotation, because physical exercises, when I started it, I felt it was very, very simple. I said, wait a minute, I'm a decent badminton player, and it is really not helping me. Then again, thanks to some professors and teachers and some co-participants, they said, well, these are yogic exercises. These are not typical exercises to build your muscle or something. These are yogic exercises, and these yogic exercises are built in such a way that it streamlines your energy flow. Now, that was something new to me, frankly. I said, doing these exercises, does the streamline the energy flow? I said, okay, I'm here to learn. I'm a student right now. So I will do whatever you tell me, because I started believing in this place, and I think it's going to do something for me, which I've been looking around for the past 10, 15 years. So physical exercises are very simple, thanks to Maharishi, who has simplified it, customized it to everybody. And he made it so simple that, we tend to overlook it. And these exercises are very important, especially when you're addressing a beginner. Okay, when you're being a beginner, these yogic exercises bring a little bit of harmony in terms of energy flow within yourself. That is one important takeaway which I learned. That's why I said evolving takeaways. Now, just taking a step back, or let us go forward to a couple of years ago, and now coming back to the present, where I start teaching the simplified exercises to a couple of youngsters. I have an aerobics group. I go in the morning. It's a pretty intense aerobic group of multiracial and mostly local people, including some Americans and so on. Now, to tell them the simplified exercises, they could not connect with it, because these guys are used to the power yoga concept, aerobics, and being in the move and kind of high energy thing. So at some point I said, okay, all right, let us do our traditional Surya Namaskar. I said, here is Surya Namaskar, and I'm not saying this is going to be done slowly and steadily. I'm going to give you a count. I want 11 Surya Namaskars in 3 minutes. Let's see who can do it. Now, I'm not saying this has to be practiced or this has to be implemented, but I kind of, what do you say, in trying to customize it and take the message forward, I said, okay, can I do something like this? So this was not to say that I changed the entire physical exercises, but to reach a wider audience and try to challenge them into this. I said, okay, do Surya Namaskars. And in the process of doing Namaskar, as we are all aware, Surya Namaskar actually triggers all our centers, most major centers are the chakras which we refer to. So that is something I learned and evolved. I said, is it something I can probably share it with a broader group and give it to, give it to the think tank at Alia and say, probably this can be something we can think about, because especially the Generation X, the current generation, especially high school kids or college kids or even young adults, sometimes they don't get the physical exercises right away, and probably this might be of help. But having said that, these simplified Surya Namaskar and simplified physical exercises are yogic exercises, and it brings about energy harmony or streamlines the energy flow within an individual. So we'll keep it at that point. That is just a tidbit about the physical exercises. I cannot go into every detail of it, but I'm just trying to give it a broad stroke and then set the stage for what future things or future messaging things and future aspects we can look into. The second aspect which I would look into, somebody let me know my time, because I probably might tend to take over time. So yeah, it's 9:35. So second aspect of is Kalpa Yoga. Now, when this Kalpa Yoga was being taught, all these concepts, when it came to me, life force, biomagnetism, vital fluid, at that time it was referred to sexual vital fluid, and then coming to the body and mind, it was all coming, I can relate to it, I can understand it, but to get the conceptual understanding, it was very abstract. Of course, now we are more advanced in terms of our teaching methodologies, but it was very abstract those days. And I was also constantly, deliberating and arguing within myself. I said, wait a minute, how can the vital fluid be like this? And they are referring it to a seminal vital fluid, whereas how about women? So then I said, okay, now we have corrected it, and it says vital fluid. But then I still had the question of what is the vital fluid? I realize we are all, there's a minimum age of 14, so I understand most of them are young adults in the audience. I'm taking a little liberty in terms of expanding the understanding, because it has a vital reason, a vital learning here, which I applied it in a particular scenario. So as we are all, has anybody ever thought of the fact that, when our body fluid or the sperm enters the human, the female reproductive organ, how does it manage to travel up to the ovum? What is the driving force which takes it all the way there? No, this is nature, this is Prakriti, or this is science, miracles. These are things which we don't know. But Maharishi has given all these explanations way long back ahead. It is up to us to deduce it from a very systematic manner and message it in such a way that it goes to the right people at the right time. So coming back. So that was one thing which was always curiosity in my mind. But what came to me as vital fluid was, I like, wait a minute. They're talking of CSF, cerebral spinal fluid. They're talking of reproductive hormone. They're talking of reproductive cell. I said, these are all different compartments in the body, and how are they really connected? Then I said, then Jayanti madam, I remember, she said, this is spiritual teaching, Prasad, so you need to take it in an abstract way. I said, okay, ma'am, I'll take it. And then Balachandraya said, practice this first. Do it for 21 days. Then you will feel the difference. And I have to say, oh my God, it was a big difference. I just practiced it without even realizing what I was doing, but I just practiced it religiously, the 3-step procedure. So, Kalpa Yoga. I say 3 steps. And 3 steps, then I immediately say 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes evening. It may not be exactly 3 minutes in the morning, evening, but that's how I keep pushing the message for Kalpa Yoga. The reason I say Kalpa Yoga is because it's like brushing your teeth. Probably ages ago, nobody was brushing their teeth, but now we are brushing our teeth. So don't you think we can do Kalpa Yoga to just invigorate our nadis and all, rejuvenate our nadis and invigorate the entire body, like, brushing our teeth in the morning? Isn't that so difficult? We started our meditation with our evening Kalpa Yoga. Now, as I moved forward later on, this Kalpa Yoga presented me a couple of challenges. And one of the case scenarios I want to say here is, I had a very interesting couple who came to me and they said, sir, we are going through some medical treatment, and they were very hesitant. So I made them comfortable and sit down and said, what is it I can do for you? And they said, we are having some infertility issues, but we are taking medical advice and we are going about it. Then I said, okay, try this physical exercises. And then at some point, probably we can attempt initiation, because the lady was in a very advanced stage of medical treatment, and she was conceived and she was going to deliver shortly. But they had been in touch with me for quite some time. So I said, do physical exercise and Kai Kalpa. But then came the challenge. Can I do Kai Kalpa yoga or not? How is it going to influence me? So that was a challenge which made me dive deeper into Kai Kalpa yoga all over again and say, wait a minute, is it applicable? Is it harmful, or is it useful? So that understanding gave me the fact, saying that I told the couple, I said, please continue your medical treatment as you go, follow the advice of your doctor. But when it comes to Kaya Kalpa Yoga, there are some set recommendations, which I will refer with some senior people also and come back to you. And I referred them. God, everything went well, and they are blessed with 2 twins, and they are ardent followers. And they are still growing up their kids, so they're quite busy. But at some point, they will fall and get into become Vethathirum followers and messengers or teachers later on. So that was an important take, wherein at Kaya Kalpa Yoga, I really had to dive in. But then I started diving and understanding more and more. I said, this 6 temperaments, especially I want to address one aspect of it, immoral sexual desire. This immoral, we know 6 temperaments. I refer it as a mnemonic, GAM, IVV. Each one can develop your own mnemonics, but this probably seems to be where my niece and nephews are able to understand better. So GAM, greed, anger, miserliness, immoral sexual desires, vanity, and vengeance. So IVB is easy for me to remember, GAM is easy for me to remember, so I kept a mnemonic for them. Somehow it got attracted and they're going with it. But let me focus more on the immoral sexual desires. Now, as we all know, without going into too much of details into the vital fluid aspect, which has to be a separate session or something in a deeper level, what Swamiji is saying is practice Kaya Kalpa Yoga so that what you need as your physiological needs is being taken care of as per your body requirements, especially during the age of 14 to 19 when you're growing up. But at the same time, if you're not channelizing your energy correctly, this takes a different route, and that is where immoral sexual desire starts happening. And then that is where we have a cultural taboo saying that don't do that, don't do this, and so on. So this is where Swamiji, without any hesitation, gives a nice, simple technique, just 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes in the evening, to approach the teenagers and say, without going or telling them all these things, just practice this. It will make an impact on you going forward. Now comes the other situation. That was one takeaway I had, and I tried to push it in a lot of teenagers here and there. It had some discomfort because when you talk the concept of Ashwini Mudra to non-Indians, it kind of has a little hesitation. But then you try to say with example of a horse, then it kind of makes significance because they are able to relate, because they are very animal friendly and they are able to relate to that. But again, are we reaching an audience beyond the Indian community, or especially South Indian community? We have a long way to go. At least I have a long way to go. So comes another situation where there was another couple which had not gone through medical treatment, but they were going through some fertility and they wanted to have a second kid. Somewhere in Facebook or somewhere another here, they got to read the message stating that no, we should not do Kaya Kalpa Yoga because we are trying for another kid. Now, that is where the communication channel has to be very, very clear and transparent. And that is where our institution, the Vethathirum institution, has done a great job of trying to give a clear communication at what needs to be done. And these are not sensitive issues. These are sensitive, but affects an individual at a deeper level. So the communication came, and then they were able to streamline their Kaya Kalpa Yoga to practice to suit their needs and go forward. But then, that is where the Kaya Kalpa Yoga has got so much deeper effect into all these things. Now, I thought of only taking one aspect of Kaya Kalpa and going into details. So I don't want to spend time on it. But as I said, Kaya Kalpa Yoga is a beautiful practice. Just like brushing your teeth in the morning and evening. Just do it for 21 days, as it was told by my mentor long time ago and a teacher, a very senior teacher, Prof. Balachandana, who said, just do it for 21 days, then you tell me more about it. Or then you leave it to me. Or then you decide yourself. Because that is what Maharishi says. Swayamai Sindhi te telivai. You first identify yourself, experience it, then start believing it. Don't take it on face value. For me, that was a big catch, and that is how I could start adapting to Kaya Kalpa Yoga very easily. Now, moving to other things. So we talked about physical exercise a little bit. We talked about Kaya Kalpa practice. Now let us go a little bit deeper into in terms of 6 temperaments. I mentioned the 6 temperaments. I spent a little bit of time in terms of one particular aspect of it. But let us go to the other principles which Maharishi has thrown for us. Then he says, let us get you initiated. Now, there was another interesting situation where somebody came to me for initiation, and this was very early days for me as a master. And I was very circumspect. I said, who am I to really do this? Am I really qualified for it? Am I the right person for it? I'm not perfect. I have a lot of imperfections in me, but am I supposed to do it? Then I just remembered, look, I'm not doing this. My guru is doing it. So that's where the importance of guru comes. My guru is doing it. I'm just being a conduit for him. So when I just put it on him and I just followed the practice with complete belief in my guru, and I was surprised to see this person was initiated, she's become follower, and she's become a very advanced practitioner, and now slowly and steadily getting into the master and the teaching of it. So trust your guru and leave it there. So why I say this, because in our thing, in our curriculum, as per our institution, we have initiation by touch. Now, initiation by touch is okay in some cultures. In some cultures, in some geographical continent, it has some reservations. Especially when I'm looking here, sitting in Pennsylvania, which probably I can, not in a bad way, if I can say it's like Madhya Pradesh. And let's say we are sitting in Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu, yes, we have a good South Indian community, and naturally a lot of people are aware of this, and they slowly start picking up this, and then they're comfortable with this process. But if I, let us say, go to Madhya Pradesh, first, language is a barrier, and second is, try to convince them about these teachings, and third is to tell, I'm going to be initiating you. Now, that is where we have a challenge here, especially when you're being out of the geographies which are not India and non-India geographies, and also non-traditional Indian cultures. Then we have a little bit of problem, because not many people are comfortable by the touch method of initiation. And how we can work about it, probably we'll develop a method for it, and it's probably in the works, or it can happen over the course of time, which I will probably leave a few thoughts at the end of my talk. So moving faster here. So I trusted my guru, and I just went about it, giving initiation. I practiced it. Somebody did it for me, and I just trusted my guru. So follow your guru, believe in him completely, go forward with it. Don't hesitate on it. Here is a guru who has done it, who probably did it like walking miles together just to initiate one person, which, as I heard from our professors early on, he used to walk miles away to go initiate a person in some nook and corner of Tamil Nadu or some place and do it, because he believed in it. And look at the impact he has created for us and given this beautiful institution and all these treasures built into it, including Kaya Kalpa Yoga. So trust your guru and believe in him, follow him. And again, you can always question it, you can always argue about it, deliberate it, but do not lose the trust in it. Only by deliberation, arguments, you develop your understanding, and your takeaways start improving. It could evolve, or it could improve, or it can be a total revelation or transformation, depending on your individual. So coming to the 6th temperament, then I said, let's step in faster into the practices. So in practices, Maharishi says, okay, I'm doing initiation. You can start your meditation practices. So we have a very structured curriculum of meditation practices and introspection. There's one thing which I want to address here in terms of introspection practices and meditation practices is, now, which do I do? Do I introspect during meditation, or do I do meditation in the name of meditation and just sit through a lecture and just listen to it, and that is meditation, or I just close my eye and listen to online meditation? Because a lot of people do not realize the difference between that. And also, I'm also observing that a lot of people come to our sessions without realizing what the entire experience of meditation is. Now, are we failing in terms of communicating it? Are we failing in terms of teaching it? Or is our curriculum something thing? No, not really. This is a small percentage. Eventually they will get to it. So let me address this part. So introspection is not wherein you do in meditation. Yeah, you might be introspecting a lot of things, but introspections, I would put it as a two sides of a coin, introspection and meditation. Now, meditation, as we go through introspection 1, 2, and 3 these days, you have a different sets of meditation, different practice, different techniques, and different practices. In the same time, Maharishi gives us introspection. As I said, I like mnemonics. Now, I was earlier saying, who am I? Now, I said, how do I make sure that I understand the different introspection topics or the principles which Maharishi has outlined and given me nice practice methodologies in terms of journaling them or writing them down or go through the exercises which Maharishi has recommended. But how do I remember it, frankly? So here I said, okay, let's take a mnemonic. Who am I? I'm new. So I just said, I'm new, I'm new, I'm new. So that I kept on telling that to myself. Now, why do I say I'm new? I'm new. People would say, is this guy crazy or what? Then I said, no. A is for analysis of thoughts. M is for moralization of desires. New is for neutralization of anger. E is for eradication of worries. And W, who am I? So this was a mnemonic which some people can easily catch on to. I'm not saying this is the preferred way of remembering it, but for especially beginners or intermediate practitioners, they go through so much of it and sometimes it's difficult to assimilate that. So these kind of catchy mnemonics helps them at least say, okay, these are the 5 topics Maharishi has given. These are the 5 principles. And then he has given me practice methodologies to say, how do I go about doing these practices? And here in every, especially when it comes to analysis of thought or every, in the interest of time, I'm not going to go into deep details of it. At every step, he has given us practice methodologies. How do we understand ourselves? How do we assess it? And then how do we go forward from there? And it is a chain reaction. As Maharishi has beautifully said in one context, Ennam Sol Seyal. I mean, I'm not a Tamil scholar, but still I understand a decent Tamil. So having said that, let us go backwards a little bit. Thought, words, action. This gives results. And when these results happen, it translates to imprints. Let's keep this particular aspect because it's too much of information now. Let's keep this particular aspect and imprints, okay? So imprints is something I'm going to address. So when you go through all these 5 principles of introspection and the practice methodologies which Maharishi has given, eventually at the end of the day, you're able to come out of it and say, wait a minute. I might have all the money in the world. I might go to the best restaurant and eat as much as I want. But at the end of the day, there is only so much you can eat. There's only so much of hunger you have and so much you can eat. So as long as you have that realization and you take it more at a practice methodology and understand the principles and then go understand the philosophy of it, then it comes the dawning of philosophy of life, which again Maharishi takes it beautifully from the 5 principles in terms of our entire thought process, going through we all want to be successful. We all want to make money. We all want to do it. But at the same time, we need to realize which is the saturation point and what is it that is going to satisfy you. That is the tipping point which you need to understand. And that is what I was struggling with. And that is where after going through the exercise and following it, and it took me years, it didn't happen overnight. I realized that, okay, this is how I want to lead my life. This is what I want to do. This is where I'm happy with it. Now, this happiness was a word which I did not say so far in my lecture. I want to be happy with it. I want to be happy with myself. How do I gain this inner happiness? Follow the meditation and introspection practices. Now, just don't do introspection. Just don't do meditation. You need to prepare yourself about this by doing your physical exercises or Surya Namaskar, which I keep proposing a lot to the youngsters these days, and especially to non-Indian crowds. And then do your Kaya Kalpa Yoga. Only when your physical body is fit and well prepared, not just at the muscles level, but at the microcosmic level in terms of energy flows. And we'll dive in deeper to go further on, saying that at your own biomagnetic level. Now comes the interesting question, what is this biomagnetism? I always say this during my online meditation, Mooladhara is also called the Earth Center or the Genetic Center, wherein our life force particles predominantly tend to accumulate in this center. And as they are predominantly accumulating in this center, they are stored in a virtual container called the vital fluid, and they're getting charged and discharged. And as they're getting charged and discharged, they dissipate within your body, having a consequential biomagnetic effect. Initially, nobody registered it, but I've been doing this for years in all my online meditation sessions. Now people are able to connect and give me a feedback. They say, sir, it makes some sense to me now. But then I'm not understanding when you say vital fluid. I said, okay, hold it. We'll come to it later on. Now, why do I say this is because once you do your physical exercises, Kaya Kalpa Yoga, your meditation and introspection practices, and then come to a point of realizing who am I, what is it I want, why am I in this life, what is the whole purpose of this, then dawns the philosophy of life. The philosophy of life comes into the practice in terms of realizing that you are not just an individual entity, you are connected with your family, your society, and nature. As long as you're able to do this, connect these points together, then you will be in a better position to say, okay, what is it that this life is all about? In the philosophy of life, we are able to also graduate ourselves from the standpoint of saying, wait a minute, how am I the only person? How, as a human being, I'm able to use my mind and relate to the external world? Whereas, how about the smaller creatures or the evolution of life, as we might frame it, right from first sense to fifth sense, are not able to do it? So the philosophy of life by Maharishi addresses that. And in that, he gives about 12 principles, and he says, okay, there are 3 needs, there are 3 protections, there are 3 virtues, and then there are 3 understanding, deeper knowledge and understanding. Now, in that, I'm going to pick one particular aspect, one particular thing in terms of virtues, morality. In terms of morality, duty, and charity, I'm going to give a little bit of insight here. Now, morality is very important because we just did our meditation. And in that morality, if you remember the meditation steps, if you can just go back, we did talk about the 2-fold moral pledge. We can say it's 5-fold culture or the 2-fold moral pledge or 2-fold moral principle. Keep it very simple. I, in my lifetime, will not cause harm to others to the extent possible. I'll relieve the pain of others, or so on. This 2-fold moral principle, if you start doing it, especially in your meditation, and you are doing it and practicing it, after a couple of months and year, you will find the difference in yourself in terms of your own personality. Now, why do I say personality? Because you are changing deep inside. How does this happen? We will get to it later on. We'll get to that later on in a brief way. Having said that, this was one evolution I realized. I said, wait a minute, there is something changing in me. I can feel it myself. So I'm not jealous. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not blaming my stars. I'm not trying to complain against my family members, or I'm not able to, I'm a healthy competitor in my workplace. That's a very important takeaway. You need to be a healthy competitor. Now, in this aspect, I also want to go a little bit further in terms of saying family. Now, before I go to family harmony, family harmony is very important because you definitely need to understand how it matters, because apart from your own personality change, then comes your person, the most important person in your life after your parents. Earlier parents, then later on, it is your life partner. Because this is the one person where your energy levels, your energy is being shared. If I can say this correctly, your life energy is being shared. Now, how and where, how it happens, we'll leave it for a separate discussion. That person is very important for you. And when that sharing and that blessing happens in a deep meditative state, then comes the wave theory and the principle of Maharishi, wherein he says, bless everybody. Then comes the concept and the theory and the principle of wave theory and the principle of blessing. And then he says, Vargavanam, be blessed by the divine. Now, let us go a little bit deeper into this, in these 2 aspects. So coming to the, I did manage to give you a connect in terms of individual, society, and nature. And I will try to link it up to the meditation procedure we have in place. We do talk about twofold moral pledge, but I'm sure all of you have thought about it. But immediately we bless the world leaders, then immediately we bless the rainwater, then immediately we bless the entire world with the Ulaganala Vastu. Why are we doing it? Just think about it. Why did Maharishi put all these procedures in such a sequence for us? Why did he do that? What is the reason for it? Similarly, going to the beginning of meditation, we start about talking about we bless our life partner, we bless our children, then we bless our family, then we bless our career or profession or workplace, then we bless our enemies too. So all this, if you can segment it very systematically as how Maharishi has put it together, then you will start realizing the entire philosophy of life, how he has translated this philosophy of life as to a practice, so that we do it day in, day out, and then it becomes like a habit. We don't even realize that it has impacted us. We are changed personalities. And that changed personality starts affecting your family, your relationships, and also your professional relationships and how you go about in this world, especially the society and the community. And also then you start thinking in terms of noble activities. It could be as simple as doing service to Vethathirum. When I say service to Vethathirum, you need not be an erudite scholar or a philosopher or a determined practitioner of Vethathirum. You can be a very simple person. And you can still be of some service to Vethathirum. But like, for example, you are conducting an event, you could be just bring water bottles. You might not be wealthy, but you probably have physical energy. Just go pick up water bottles and bring it to the service center as part of service. That is enough. That's more than enough. Now, I was mentioning earlier how I got attracted to the Valmiki Nagar Center. I'll tell you why now, because the simplicity of what was very important here. I was sitting in some sessions there, and then I had somebody else along with me, and I looked back and I said he was actually the auto driver of my kid, taking her to kindergarten school. And this auto driver sitting next to me was able to peacefully meditate and go through the whole thing systematically without any jerks or any kind of hesitation or any kind of movements. And he was in a deep sense of inner happiness, which I could perceive. And whereas I did not have that at that point. That is when I asked myself, am I an educated fool? Or does it really matter who we are, what we are? And that is where the simplicity of Vethathirum comes to the forefront. And once you come to the philosophy of life, the entire dawning and understanding of this message trickles in deeply into you. Then you are a very different person deep inside. And that changes is not superficial, it is fundamental at your energy level, at your basic life force particles level. Now, this is the first time I'm saying life force particles after briefly stating that during Kayakampa Yoga talk. So when I say life force particles, this philosophy of life also starts saying, okay, now I know who am I. I'm definitely connected to an external world. Now, how do I go about understanding this better? Then comes the concept of family harmony, because that is very important. Once you have an understanding of it, then you say, wait a minute. So here I am, but what is this God? Where is this divinity coming from? What am I and how am I connected to this? So that is when you go more and more meditation practices, and then comes the practice of sublimation and perfection, which enables you to connect with the divine through advanced meditation practices. And as an individual, when you start understanding the concept of life force, biomagnetism, right? Life force, biomagnetism, body fluid, body, mind, and so on. Then you start realizing that all the mind is a psychic extension of your inner personality. And where is this coming from? It is coming from the life force particles. And the life force particles, they have a consequential biomagnetic effect. Now, this might sound very abstract if you go and talk to some young kid or even an adult or even a learned person who's coming from a different paradigm. So how do we try to translate that to him? So this is where this is some of the challenges I had. And I said, okay, how do we go about this? First, try to let me see if I can convince myself. And I took this journey a couple of years, a decade ago. And I said, okay, let me understand this. So when I was going through the motions of it, then at some point I was able to experience the godliness, as people say, meditators delight. It's ecstasy. It only happens for a second. But then I did not understand, is this what it is going to be? Or this is what people refer to that. Now, we all are aware, when you're going to advanced levels of meditation, your frequency levels, your mind frequency levels is going down, your ECG comes down. It has a lot of health benefits. But I did not have somebody, or even now I'm struggling at some point wherein I'm trying to figure out, okay, is this where I am in the universal space or I am in the absolute space? And this was a question which was raised by many people. Sir, I mean, yes, sir, hey, come on, I don't get this. What are you trying to say? I'm in universal space, but what are you trying to say when I'm in absolute? So all I could think of at that point, I said, wait a minute, when you are in the universal space, meditating in that space, most probably you are in a very different state of mind, completely disconnected from the world and the bodily consciousness, and you are in the universal space. At some point, you will get into a thoughtless state. If you're not able to do it, then just try to imagine or probably perceive a darkness and become one with the darkness. And at some point, you'll get into a thoughtless state and experience the static. Now, how many of us are really able to do it? We are not Mahans, we are not gurus. At least I am not one. So I said, how do I translate this? So I tried to share this message with a lot of people saying that, hey, this is one way you might be able to experience the absolute. Some people intuitively were able to get it. Some people could not. Some people said, sir, I'm not getting it. What are you trying to say? Some people say, hey, I just don't get this, man. This is not for me. That is when you realize and decide, okay, you know what? There are some people who are going to be beginners or intermediate practitioners. There are some people who are going to be good meditators or deep meditators. And some people who want to be philosophical about it and want to understand the philosophy of Vethathirum as such. So you try to address that crowd in a different way. And in this crowd, for example, some people are struggling. So I did speak to a lot of senior people. One of them said, Prasad, most of us are able to only scratch the surface of absolute. It probably happens for a fraction of seconds or probably a fraction of a minute. And at that point is when your deep intuition develops so much. And that's when the word perspicacity comes. I was listening to Maharishi's audio as part of kind of mentally preparing myself for this day before yesterday in the concept of karma yoga. And he says, to understand the cause and effect and karma yoga, you need to be perspicacious. And he says, perspicacity is not great, just its inbuilt intuition to realize what is the present, what is the past, live in the present, and think about the future. And if you're able to think clearly and keep them separate and at the same time bring them together when needed in a very balanced way, that is perspicacity. So that intuitive mind happens if you really follow all these practices and also take the principles which Maharishi has given and then come to a point where you have understood the philosophy of life. Then you're trying to understand, okay, all right, how do I make myself a better person so that I can be of some service to Vethathirim or the service to mankind? So that is where the concept of cause and effect of karma yoga. Look, we are all born in this place wherein everything has been already doctrined. There is a cause, there is an effect. Whether you did it now or whether you did it earlier, we'll keep it at that point. But coming to the current, the present, in terms of your thoughts, words, action, be very careful about it because it has a result and it has an imprint. And that also translates indirectly to the cause and effect. Because this which you are putting now is going to have an effect later on. Now that brings a lot of clarity in my professional career. How do I say this? This was when I was introduced to the term Nishkarma Yogi, Nishkama Karma Yogi. So what is it? Work without expectations, desireless sincerity for duty. Now, being a business school student like 20 years ago, I was laughing at it. I said, are you kidding me? If profit is not a motive, are we going to be really doing a business here? But then when you look about it, I was shocked when we had a session where somebody came and talked about Nishkama Karma Yogi at that point. And I did not understand much of it. Most of us said, this gentleman is out of his mind. He's talking of Nishkama Karma Yogi in business school when our bottom line is what we are looking at. What is it is bottom line? What is the impact we are going to go? I have probably another 10 minutes, so I will try to wrap it up soon. So the Nishkama Karma Yogi concept came in and it didn't understand. But after a long time and getting into Vethathirim, when I started understanding the Karma Yoga, and then I said, wait a minute, here it is, Maharishi has already given this. He's already stated this. Do your job. கடமையை செய், பலன் எதிர்பார்க்காதுன்னு தமிழ்ல சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. அம்மா தமிழ்ல ஏதாவது சொல்லிட்டு போயிட்டாங்க, இது நடக்கிற விஷயமா அதெல்லாம். Okay, come back to our real world. You are in a real corporate world. You are in a competitive place, and where everything matters. Then here you want to say, no, I'm going to do my job irrespective of the benefits I'm going to accrue or not accrue in the course of time. It actually helped me a lot because I had a glorious career and then I had a glorious pitfall. Frankly, I could not have continued, but if I did not understand the philosophy of life and the Karma Yoga at that point, then I started saying, wait a minute, is this Karma Yoga because of who I am as this person in this life, or is something related to my predecessors or my future? So I said, okay, I cannot control the past, but at least let me see how I can go about the future. Then comes the concept of imprints. We are all aware how we have born with hereditary imprints because of the man and woman joining together, or if you want to go to a more basic level of the sperm and woman meeting together. And I say this consciously because they are driven to each other by a magnetic force. Not many people realize it, but this has been noble breaking work. So when you have this kind of a fundamental deeply embedded within you, then you realize, hey, what I am doing is my job, my duty. And that is where the three virtues come back again and again to tell me morality, duty, charity. Morality, duty, charity. Then I go back and say, be a nishkama karma yogi. Do your job, palan edirpaakara. Don't be desiring. Don't desire this. Don't desire the outcome. Keep doing it. So that is when I had a lull in my professional career, it helped me a lot. That was a big takeaway for me. Because I don't think I was the kind of person who's supposed to have rational thinking and evidence put in front of me, believe in something like that so fast. And I was laughing at the same thing a couple of decade ago when I was being taught this in business school. But now comes the revelation of this. And I said, okay, it can be put into practice. So that came into practice in another way when we started the local center in Pennsylvania. As I said, it's like Madhya Pradesh. We do not have a South Indian community here. We have a broad spectrum Indian community, that too very small population, at least a decade ago, where most of them are Gujaratis, or nothing against anybody. Gujaratis are Hindi speaking crowd. How do I go and take this message of Vethathirum to them? These were challenges. I recollect even the Professor Balchandra and their family had come here. We also did a wife appreciation day a decade ago. And some of the participants who are in the session also remember that. We were managed to get only 2 non-South Indian crowd at that point. I'm not even talking of the other American crowd or the English speaking or other cultural race around here. I'm only talking Indian in that subsect and in that thing. So that is when I said, cause and effect, nishkama karma yogi, put your effort, things will happen. That gave me the elucidation, the elimination, and also the intuition to take things from a broader perspective and move forward. And it helped me a lot in my personal and professional life. In personal also, it helped me a lot because every family has their own legacy issues. And in my own family, there are extended family, you have legacy issues. But that is when the principles of 3 things came into forelight again to me. Wave theory. Keep constantly blessing. Then do the practices so that you can change your hereditary imprints. I'm not going to get into, prachita karma, sanchita karma, kamya karma, but at least you know how you can superimpose and dissipate your imprints, hereditary imprints. Then how you can bring in new imprints which define you as a new personality right now, and how this can pass on to the future generations in a very, very different manner. That is where I'm going to come back and say, okay, are you telling me that by doing this physical exercises, Kaya Kalpa Yoga, meditation and introspection practice, and having a little bit understanding of philosophy of life, Karma Yoga, and then doing understanding family harmony, and probably realizing godliness through ways that I'm able to influence a man and woman which is being created by the meeting of a sperm and woman? How are we able to influence that? And here you're talking of vital fluid, but again, you're not giving me the concrete understanding of it to say how, we are not joking around here. We are talking to high school kids who have all the information they want in Google. And if you are going to tell them this, they are going to understand, they're going to ask you this, or some of them might keep quiet, or some of them will be skeptical, or some of them will not come. Then you say, okay, you practice and realize. But sometimes it takes a long gestation period. So how are we going to go about it? Because if you can look at it and think about it, we are making a functional modulation at the level of DNA for an individual. If you have realized how much we're impacting right from the life force particles, right from the consequential biomagnetism, at the genetic center of an individual, we are literally impacting and modulating the cell machinery at the human DNA level. Now, it might be a laughing stock, or they'll say this guy is crazy 20 years ago, but we are living in a post-COVID world right now, where an RT-PCR is a common term used even in the remotest places of the world. So who are we kidding ourselves, or who are we trying to, make understand, realize, and say, what are we talking? Every person knows what RT-PCR is for COVID these days. So why don't we take it a step further and make people realize, and also try to elucidate and try to tell them, hey, you are doing these practices, and in the process, you are impacting this. Now comes the other thing. Now, this is a philosophy. How are we going to translate it? Is it going to take another 30, 50 years before science proves it? Or can we come up with some teaching methodologies which can take the message forward, and then at some point the practice will start speaking for itself? These are open thoughts. We'll leave it there. So coming to the wrapping it up in terms of godliness, I don't have a lot of time, so I'm not going to spend, but in terms of godliness. So here we are at a very deep level to say, okay, we have understood it, we have got the concept of karma yoga. Now let's try to realize and say in terms of
Patala, we could spend some time on question answer also.
Oh, okay. So I will stop here then. So I'm going to stop here briefly saying that, so we will stop here and saying that, wherein we have come to the point of understanding how we can connect to the divinity. It's a very vast subject to cover all this, but I was trying to give examples.
We'll have some more lectures with you. It will be very, very interesting. Yeah.
So I'm going to stop here and leave it at that point, and I'm open for some questions and go from there.
This was indeed a very great lecture, sir, on Vethathirium, evaluating takeaways and ongoing case studies. You have rightly said that the Vethathirium, that is, you rightly said that we need to follow Sky Yoga for getting inner happiness. And you have just put in a nutshell whole of Vethathirium as Sky Yoga. Thank you so much, sir. Dear friends, anybody having any questions, you can just raise your hand. We will unmute you. You can have your discussion with our professor, Prasad Patala. Yes, just raise your hand. Suresh Palraj. Suresh Patala, Suresh Palraj, you are online?
Yes, madam. Can you
Yes,
hear me
sir.
now?
You can raise your question, sir.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Prasad, for very valuable information and, listening to your lecture. So my question to you is, so we are in this corporate world, some of us who are working kind of focused on how do we better than the other human beings so that, we get the recognition or the financial gain out of it. So coming from the Vethathirium perspective, we still have the duty towards our family and the society, but at the same time, without, with those two moral principles, how do we navigate the waters in the corporate world? Thank you.
A very tough question, to be honest with you. But as I said, my take on Vethathirium, how it helped me navigate that was, at some point, I was not being a competitor. I was being a co-optator, in the sense there is competition, you can say healthy competition. At the same time, I was not hesitant to share or
Did we mute Mr. Prasad? I cannot hear it.
Pardon?
Can you hear me now, sir?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, sorry about that. So, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, it was a very important takeaway, especially in a mid-career when I was going through my professional challenges. Obviously, we are all ambitious. When you are ambitious, there's a thin line between ambition and greed. And when we say greed, that is where I immediately step into 6 temperaments of Vethathiri Maharishi and how he has asked us to manage that. Now, how do we do it in the corporate world is a challenge, because here you are given set goals and set boundaries to which to deliver. Now, when you're working in that parameter, obviously you also want to look for in terms of benefits. Now, at some point comes a situation where you start looking at your peers and you feel that you're not being given due share or you're not being given undue share. So the only way I could come out of it, I cannot say that for a whole lot of other people, there were 2 things I did. So whatever was given to me, I did it religiously, irrespective of whether I felt it was the right thing to do, whether I was being fairly rewarded, or whether it is a fair thing for me. I just said, this is my duty as my job, and I'm going to do it. And I did it religiously. And I said, okay, if things benefits, either in terms of promotion or financial or gain or recognition, whatever it is, if it is supposed to happen, it will happen. That is where the concept of Karma Yoga helped me. And the third aspect of it was I need to modulate myself, because when you are working with this kind of a mindset, your efficiency is not great. You might be a skilled person, but you are inefficient in terms of delivering these things. So that is when I went back to our principles and started doing Kalpa Yoga regularly, and then coming back to meditation. Once I do that, if you realize that very closely, at one particular step of our meditation, we do meditate our profession, career, and workplace. Now, if you're doing it systematically, at some point, it comes within yourself saying that my profession is in safe hands, my career is going well, and my workplace is going to help me in whatever way I need to do, because it is going to, I'm going to do what I am supposed to do, but my workplace is going to work around me or help me and guide me to the next level. And this will happen automatically. If it doesn't happen, then you follow that with a blessing. What do? You might bless your subordinates, you might bless your colleagues, or you might bless your superiors. I was involved in a legal tussle for an almost long time here, wherein, if I can say without any details, I mean, all my stock options were gone. So either I could do a legal battle, which I did, but at the same time, we could also go ahead and start blessing the individual, which I did religiously. Whether it had impact on the other person, I leave it to the wave theory, which Maharishi has said. But whether it impacted me, yes. My whole take on that other person and that institution or the corporate, the working environment I was in was very different when I started blessing them. So to summarize it, do your Kalpa Yoga, which streamlines and maintains your energy flow. Try to pick on your physical exercises as and when you have time, and then do your meditation practices. And when you do your meditation practices, try to give a little bit of thought to each step which Maharishi has given in meditation. And once you're doing it, you will see the differences within yourself, and then you will see the environment you're working in also changing or becoming conducive to you. If it is not happening, live it. It is Karma Yoga. Live it. Just live it and do what you are supposed to do. And I promise you, my friend, it will probably start coming together at some point at an individual level and also from the corporate level. And that is where Maharishi also goes in terms of talking in terms of moralization of desires and also eradication of worries. If you can just dwell into that practice a little bit, it might help you also.
Yeah, thank you so much. And one more thing on comment is, so it is the practice, whatever we say and do, it's all sprinkled here and there, all these answers. For example, the ways to win people through deeds of virtue, now easy for me to see, like, opening up the eyes, following these practices. But thank you so much for your explanation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes,
1,
madam.
2, 3, 4 name is not there. You can unmute. 1, 2, 3, 4, sir. You can raise your question.
Hello, Vargoravan. I'm
Vargoravan.
Geeta. The expansion of I am new.
Yes, madam. Again, so the reason this is not part of our Vethathirum curriculum, but this is what is being taught. But how do I remember this very easily? So that is where I came up with a mnemonic to myself, and I started sharing it off. This was actually coined by some of my other colleagues of Vethathirum at SKY, New Jersey, and also other centers in US. So you asked me, what is am new? So
Yes,
if you
sir.
recollect, I'm coming to that, madam. So if you recollect, Maharishi has given us 5 principles, and along with it, 5 practices along with it. He has talked of analysis of thought, moralization of desires, neutralization of anger, eradication of worries. Who am I? If you just take the first alphabet of this, then it becomes am new. AMNUW. So why it was easy for me to remember, it's my personal experience, a personal takeaway. Why it was easy for me to remember is I come to a point where I said, okay, I'm trying to figure out who am I in this world? What is this journey of consciousness? Who am I as an individual, and so on. Then I said, I've covered these 5 principles which Maharishi has taught, Maharishi has laid out, and was taught by different people during the introspection journey of 3 introspections. But how do I remember this? Later on, after you practice, it becomes a habit. But initially, it takes a time to remember this, first of all. So I just say, remember 5 fingers. You have 5 fingers in your hand. Just remember 5 fingers and just remember am new. A for analysis, M for moralization, N for neutralization, E for eradication, and W for who am I. So if you keep remembering this as 5 fingers in your hand, then you will start slowly realizing the principle which it was given by Maharishi, and then you'll start getting into the practices which has been given to us in terms of how to manage each one of this separately. Once this becomes a habit, then you become a different personality, and then you start realizing who am I, and then you start connecting differently to the external world. I hope it is helpful, and I was trying to tell you how to remember the principles easily, apart from wave theory, blessing principle, or the 2-fold moral principle, and so on. I hope that's helpful.
Thank you, sir. Wonderful explanation.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Anyone else? Friends? Anybody want to ask? Yes, Suhanya. Suhanya, ma'am.
Varga Valamudan. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Vanakkam, Master. So what lured me to Vethathirum was often how things were explained scientifically as well. So my question is based on not a difference, but I'm not able to reconcile how this is actually happening. So is there any explanation on how the imprints are actually stored? I know that the imprints are stored. There are so many phenomena that happens around, memories from the past, which we don't have explanations to. Science is not caught up to it. I'm often told through Vethathirum that these imprints are stored, and I believe it. But at the same time, science says that every electron is the same. So I'm not able to wrap my head around the concept of how vividly all of our memories and the past karma, everything is stored in our, in our Mooladhara chakra. So I'm wondering if.
Question. Thank you for asking, Suganya. Definitely we'll talk more about it offline too. But I'll try to leave these 3 points for you to ponder further. First is whether all of us are born with 23 chromosomes, 23 pairs of chromosomes, right? And these 23 pairs of chromosomes have the genetic material, which is what is being carried by the sperm and ovum, and then a new human being or a baby is born. Now, this genetic material is kind of preserved in them at the chromosome level, at the DNA level. Now, you can ask me, how is this imprint sitting there in the DNA material? Well, that is what constitutes a baby. And that is where you need to understand how the baby becomes, right from the small embryo stage to a baby and then to a human being, a kid, a lady, and that evolution of things. So we'll leave it there. What I'm trying to say is just keep this take-home message, I would say, is our genetic material is being kind of coming through the chromosomes, which is a constant in all our human beings. And when this is a constant which is happening through the male and female, the DNA processes this information in some form. Now, if you ask me scientific evidence for it, I'm not in a position to give you that right away. But I can at least tell you, based on my understanding of Vethathirium, that, the genetic material which is coming through this chromosomes at the DNA levels does carry some imprints, and these imprints are hereditary. Now, you can ask me, I don't still get it. Then let me say, how about you resembling your mom in some way? Or how about you resembling your dad in some way? How is this happening? This is happening because there is some basic thing which is stored in that DNA, which comes along with the chromosome in the form, in a body called the sperm or the ovum, and then it's coming through. Similarly, when you have some imprints, when you are able to relate and say, hey, wait a minute, I probably have my mom's nose, or I probably have my dad's intelligence, or the other way around, whichever works is fine. Then why can't we also stretch our probably an imagination, probably our understanding to some extent and say, there is DNA material in the chromosome, which is happening, and this is coming with all the basic information to make a baby. In the process, it is also carrying some hereditary imprints. These imprints are not coded in the DNA to some extent, but it is there in some form, which manifests itself as it goes forward. When it's manifesting itself as it goes forward, that is where I'm able to say that, by Vethathirium, you will be able to modulate your human cell machinery, and that way you are actually modulating the DNA behavior in some ways. You're not changing it. Remember, that is a constant, but you're modulating the cell machinery so that the DNA is getting transcribed to RNA and translated to proteins, and that results in different kind of behaviors and chemicals, biochemicals, and that relates to more in terms of your behavior patterns and eventually influences your personality. Now, that is a very nutshell of information, one shot, but that is what I was trying to say. So my only take-home message is, we know this is basic biology. We have chromosomes, we have DNA in it. In the DNA is what is the building materials for our baby to form. When we are able to accept the fact that I look a little bit like my mom or dad in some way or other, then you also accept the fact that their experiences in some way, their intuitions, their understanding, their hardships or their happiness is also being coming through. Whether it comes through the DNA directly, or we're coming through the mixture of the DNA, the genetic material, the life force particles mingling along with it, and then comes the consequential effect of it. That is a debate to be discussed, but that is something science will prove in the years to come. So we'll leave it at that point. But my request to you, Suganya, is just take at this point that, when you are able to believe that, you are able to say that your baby is formed, you were formed by your parents, by the contribution of their chromosomes in the form of sperm and ovum, which came to you, and then you became who you are, and you resemble them in some way or other. Also take it as a fact, to some extent a fact or abstract concept, that there are some imprints, their experiences, their positive and negative memories, which are also stored and passed to you. And if I can go further, it is not only a parent, it can go up to 7 generations. That is what our mythology says. Now, whether science can prove it, I don't know. But yeah, we are in a stage where we're able to use PCR and find out the lineage of a person, right? Up to 5 generations, if I remember right. So things are happening. It will happen at some point. But at this point, this would be my take-home message. Hope that helps you.
Thank you,
I know
Master.
you're not convinced,
Thank you.
Suganya,
Yes.
but we'll talk offline.
No, Master. So this is not a question of I don't believe. I believe it, but the question was more of curiosity because I am not reading a lot of materials or doing research on my own. So I wanted to know if there was more explanation on it. I believe it and I understand what you're saying. It's just that I wanted to know if there's a more granular information on it.
Yeah, granularity, I can say that I can give you one anecdotal evidence here in terms of granularity. So there have been a lot of studies which have gone into saying that, see, let us take another example, okay? We are talking of COVID here, and then we know the virus was changing from time to time again. So the virus is mutating. It is changing its pattern and behavior. This is common knowledge to all of us now, okay? Now, let's dive it in. Let's take a little analogy from here and go forward and say, okay, so it has some basic information and it has its own personality and traits. And where is it coming from? It is coming from the mother and father. And how is it coming? It is only coming through the chromosomes, the DNA and the surrounding cells through which they are coming through. So let's keep it at point. And I'm sure there'll be more valid explanations, more evidence going forward.
Thank you, Master.
Sure. Thank you for coming.
Anyone else? Balachandran. Sir, Balachandran sir. Balachandran sir.
Oh yeah. Thanks, Prasad. It was a beautiful flow. The whole of Vethathiri, we were able to bring it out right from the exercise all through. It's been wonderful, and it's just that I think we should have a series of lectures from you, not just one. I think it has started this. We need many more expositions from you.
Thank you. I mean, you are a very familiar name for me because right from the earlier days, long time ago. But for it, I don't think I would have been into this journey. So thanks for being there for me at that time and mentoring me in the course of this so far. Now coming to this, yes, I would love to see, but I also need to learn and understand better, so which I'll try to do. And I definitely, as I was alluding to you, I definitely want to talk about vital fluid, and I want to also talk about how the personality changes is really happening through Vethathirium at the molecular level or the cellular level. I mean, we do talk in terms of physics, we do talk in terms of some extent chemicals, we do talk in terms of abstract concepts. But let me think about it and see what I can do, and I'll share it with you. We can go from there. But definitely, I want to talk about vital fluid.
Sure. I think with this, your background, it should be more authentic. I think we need more some work from you.
Thank you, sir. We'll definitely try.
Thank you. All the best. Thanks for finding time and then talking to us. And okay, over to Bharti madam.
Sir, as Professor Balachandran sir has said, we are all eagerly waiting to hear more and more from you, sir, about Vethathirium. Thank you very much, sir. Anyone else? Okay. Can we conclude? Shall we conclude, sir?
Yes, madam. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. And thank you. I guess, again, I had to go to Karma Yoga somewhere. Somebody must have done some good that I had an opportunity to get into Vethathirium and also have an opportunity to address a topic like this. And people are hearing it out. Hopefully, they can have some takeaways and also form their own case scenarios, how it has impacted them. I have numerous examples, but in the interest of time, I couldn't get into some deeper levels. So we'll leave it at this point. Thank you for the opportunity. Thanks for your patience. Be blessed by the divine.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, dear participants. And thank you, Professor Balachandran, sir. Dear friends, tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. and evening, 6:30 p.m. sharp, Indian Standard Time, we have Turiya meditation. We have meditation daily. Kindly do participate and get benefited. Also, again, next Sunday, we will meet again with some other interesting topic on Vethathirium. Thank you all. Be blessed by the divine.
Thank you. Be blessed by the divine.
Now let us start with the standing posture. Keep your legs in V shape. Now move your heels sideways, and between the toes the same 6 inches remain. The hands can be on the side, on the waist. Come to that position. Yes, let us start. Ashwani Mudra. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Contract the anus and hold it tight. Now you take your hands up, fully stretching your hands. Gorgeous breath. Now release the Mulabandham and come down. Bring your hands down on either side. Now come back to original position. Legs also, put the legs normally. So in the yoga mat, you are going to sit in Vajrasana. For hands, you keep both the hands on each side of the waist. Ashwani Mudra. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now 11th time, do the Mula Bandham, that is tightening the anus. Gorgeous breath. And lastly, release the Mula Bandham and then relax. For that, we will lie down on the yoga mat. So stretch your legs fully. Keep both the hands on the side. Cross the legs. That is, put the right leg over the left ankle. Your feet will automatically come near. Bring it as close to the body as possible. Now hands will be on the navel, like a Namaskar position, perpendicular to the navel. Ashwani Mudra. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now for ladies, for the 11th time, do the Mula Bandham now. Gorgeous breath. And lastly, release the Mula Bandham. Now ladies can stretch the legs and then relax. For gents, raise the knees, raise your head, say about 6 inches away from the ground. So we'll do the Mula Bandham. Gorgeous breath. And lastly, release the Mula Bandham. Now you can put your head down and bring the feet also down. Then stretch your legs and relax. First is the hand exercise, for which you stand on the yoga mat. Keep both the feet parallel to each other, about 6 inches gap, and both hands on the side. Now take your hands up. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Bring your hands down, sides, 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Second time, take the hands up. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Bring your hands down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Third and last time, take the hands up. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Bring your hands down, 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Next exercise, stretch the hands sideways fully. Now bring the hands inwards, both touching each other, outward, inward, outward, inward, outward, inward, outward, inward. Last time, outward, inward. Put your hands down. Next exercise, right hand, all the 5 fingertips closed. Now start moving from rotation clockwise, forward to backward. Start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now with left hand, all the 5 fingertips closed. Start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now with right hand bowling action, all the 5 fingertips closed. Start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Left hand bowling action, all the 5 fingertips closed. Start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Both hands forward to backward. Start 1,
2, 3, 4, 5. Next, reverse direction. Start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put your right foot forward, right hand forward. Then start backward rotation. Start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reverse, normal swimming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next exercise. Now increase the length between the feet up to about 1.5 feet. Keep the hands in the front, 1 foot away from the chest. Now first move to your right, come back, left, come back. Simultaneously turn the left leg with its big toe as a fulcrum. Left. Simultaneously turn the right leg using its big toe as a fulcrum. Third time, right, come back. Fourth time, left, come back. Right, come back. Left, come back. Last time, right, come back. Left, come back. Last hand exercise. Bring the feet near, bend at the knees, use the palm, cover it, head 45 degrees. Now start clockwise rotation. 1, 2, 3. Anti-clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Leg exercise. Sit down, stretch your legs. Keep the hands on the side. Keep about 1.5 feet between the 2 feet. Start. Bring the feet inward, outward. Inward, outward. Inward, outward. Inward, outward. Last time, inward, outward. Bring the feet closer, about 9 inches to 1 foot. Move both the feet, first to the right, then to the left. Right, left, right, left, right, left. Last time, right, left. Now, rotations. First, clockwise, big rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anti-clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Foot reflexology. Put the right leg over the left thigh. Now with the 2 thumbs we are going to press the other 8 fingers at the bottom. Start pressing the big toe. Press, press till you reach the end. Next, second and third toes simultaneously. Press, come down. Next, the last 2 toes. Press, come down. Now just below the big toe, press, then move further to the left till you reach the end. Then slightly move down and start pressing towards the opposite direction. Press, release, like that, go to the corner and come down. Press in the reverse direction. Like that, we keep pressing the depression area and then keep going down till we reach the end of the heels, the right heel. Once we complete that, now we are going to press the sides. Use the 2 thumbs on the top, other 8 fingers at the bottom. Start pressing from bottom to top. Press, release, press, release, press, release. The reverse direction now. Come down, press, release, down to the heel. Again the reverse direction, third last time. Press, release, press, release, and complete it. Next we are going to the ankle. From the bottom to the top, use the thumbs. Press further up the semicircular fashion, come to the top, then in the reverse direction. The other 8 fingers on the other side. Then once again from bottom to top. Next we are going to put the right palm over the ankle and left palm underneath. Then simultaneously massage clockwise 1, 2, 3. Anti-clockwise 1, 2, 3. Clockwise 1, 2, 3. Now with right hand hold just above the ankle, with left hand the 5 toes and rotate the foot clockwise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anti-clockwise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Clockwise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now massage from the ankle up to the knee joint. Press, go further up. Press, go further up. Press, go further up. Press, go further up till you reach the knee. The same thing we'll now do with left leg. Now with the 2 thumbs we are going to press the other 8 fingers at the bottom. Start pressing the big toe. Press, come down. Press till you reach the end. Next, second and third toes simultaneously. Press, come down. Next, the last 2 toes. Press, come down. Now just below the big toe, press, then move further to the left till you reach the end. Then slightly move down and start pressing towards the opposite direction. Press, release, like that, go to the corner and come down. Press in the reverse direction. Like that, we keep pressing and start pressing towards the opposite direction. Press, release, move further to the right, press, release, press, release the depression area and then keep going down. Press, release, press, release till we reach the end of the heels. Once we complete that, now we are going to press the sides. Use the 2 thumbs on the top, other 8 fingers at the bottom. Start pressing from bottom to top. Press, release, press, release, press, release. The reverse direction now. Press, release, come down, like that, keep going down to the heel. Again the reverse direction, third last time. Press, release, press, release, and complete it. Next we are going to the ankle. From the bottom to the top, use the thumbs. Press further up the semicircular fashion, come to the top. Then in the reverse direction, the other 8 fingers on the other side. Then once again from bottom to top. Next we are going to put the left palm over the ankle and right palm underneath. Then simultaneously massage clockwise 1, 2, 3. Anti-clockwise 1, 2, 3. Clockwise 1, 2, 3. Now with left hand hold just above the ankle, with right hand the 5 toes and rotate the foot clockwise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anti-clockwise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Clockwise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now massage from the ankle up to the knee joint. Press, go further up. Press, go further up. Press, go further up till you reach the knee. So we just complete the foot reflexology, kidney massage. Now sit in Vajrasana. So you're going to take both the hands behind from top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom. Last time, top to bottom. We just complete the leg exercise. Next we go for breathing exercise. The same Vajrasana, keep the hands in Chin Mudra and press it in the thigh joint. Now start going down, going down, going down. Exhaling, we come down. The upper portion of the body. Then start going up. Inhaling, we go up. Exhaling, we come down. Inhaling, we go up. Exhaling, we come down. Inhaling, going up. Exhaling, coming down. Inhaling, going up. Exhaling, coming down. Inhaling, going up. Next exercise, we use the Adi Mudra and do the same exercise. Going down, exhaling. Inhaling, going up. Exhaling, coming down. Inhaling, going up. Exhaling, coming down. Inhaling, going up. Exhaling, coming down. Inhaling, going up. Exhaling, going down. Last time, inhaling, coming up. Now we sit in Sukhasana. Put the right palm over the navel. Left fingers on the right ear, pressing the left lung. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, inhale. Exhale. Now put your left palm on the navel and the right fingers over the right ear. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. First the left hand over the right and right hand over the left. We put the right hand over the left ear and repeat the process. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. Next, we cover the ear, right hand, right palm over the right ear, left palm over the left ear. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. Now eye palming. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. We complete the breathing exercise. Now eye exercise. If possible, sit in Vajrasana, otherwise Sukhasana. Now the fingers are crossed, thumb looking up. Keep it in front of the chest. Horizontally, move to the right. Come back. Move to the left. Come back. Move the hands to the right. Come back. Left. Come back. Right. Come back. Left. Come back. Last time. Right. Come back. Left. Come back. Now vertical movement. Keep the hands below the navel and take the hand up. Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. up, down. Last time, up, down. Now crisscross. So for that, put your hand to the left of the left thigh and take it up towards the right shoulder, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now from the right bottom to the left top, start up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Last time, up, down. Now we are going to do rotation. First clockwise, then anti-clockwise. Start near the navel. Start. Big circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now anti-clockwise. Start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now bring the hands near the nose, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. Last time, out, in. Now eye palming. Just for some time. Yes, we just complete the eye exercise. Next, Kapalabhati. Sit in Sukhasana. Mula Bandham. Close the left nostril and exhale through the forcefully exhale. Start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We give a gap for about half a minute or so. Relax. Start second time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Give a gap for some time. Now third and final time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release the Mula Bandha. Now we are going to do the lying down exercises. So stretch yourself, lie down on the back, hands and chin mudra at 45 degrees. Legs fully stretched. Turn the head to the right, body to the left. Head to the left, body to the right. Head to the right, body to the left. Head to the left, body to the right. Third time, head to the right, body to the left. Head to the left, body to the right. Next exercise, raise the knees, bring the feet close to the body. Same exercise. First, head to the right, body to the left. Head to the left, body to the right. Head to the right, body to the left. Head to the left, body to the right. Last time, head to the right, body to the left. Head to the left, body to the right. Now stretch your leg, put the right leg over the left ankle. Same exercise, head to the right, body to the left. Head to the left, body to the right. Head to the right, body to the left. Head to the left, body to the right. Last time, head to the right, body to the left. Head to the left, body to the right. Now change the leg. Same exercise, head to the right, body to the left. Head to the left, body to the right. Head to the right, body to the left. Head to the left, body to the right. Last time, head to the right, body to the left. Head to the left, body to the right. Now, between the two big toes, put your right leg and hold it. Start. Head to the right, body to the left. Head to the left, body to the right. Head to the right, body to the left. Head to the left, body to the right. Head to the right, body to the left. Head to the left, body to the right. Now change the leg, left over the right. Start. Head to the right, body to the left. Head to the left, body to the right. Head to the right, body to the left. Head to the left, body to the right. Last time, head to the right, body to the left. Head to the left, body to the right. Now cycling. Fist closed. Now right leg forward and right hand forward. Then left leg backward. Like that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax. Now turn around, lie down on the abdomen, chin on the ground, both feet close and perpendicular to the ground. Now head to the right, that is left cheek on the ground, and move the body to the right. Your right hand will be towards the ground, left hand towards the sky. Now reverse. Second time, right, left. Third time, right, left. Next, bend your legs at the knee. Same exercise. Head to the right. Then head to the left. Head to the right. Head to the left. Head to the right. Head to the left. Now stretch your leg. Put the right leg over the left ankle. Start. Head to the right. Come back. Head to the left. Come back. Head to the right. Come back. Head to the left. Head to the right. Come back. Head to the left. Come back. Now change your leg. Put the left over the right. Same. Head to the right. come back, head to the left, come back, head to the right, come back, head to the left, come back. Last time, head to the right, come back, head to the left, come back. Now hold the between the two big toes, the right leg, keeping the left leg. Same exercise, head to the right, come back, head to the left, come back, head to the right, come back, head to the left, come back. Last time, head to the right, come back, head to the left, come back. Now change the legs position. Same exercise, head to the right, come back, head to the left, come back, head to the right, come back, head to the left, come back, head to the right, come back, head to the left, come back. Next, we are going to do the sideways movement. So bring your hands in the front, slightly raise your head and looking at the fingers. Now move to the right at the same time, right leg will bend. Move to the left leg will bend. To the right, come back, right, left, right, left. Last time, right, left. Last exercise, in a sleeping posture, your left chin on the ground, hand near the face, bent at elbow, left palm looking upward. Bend right knee, left leg fully stretched. So in this position, relax for some time, giving total rest to the body. Next exercise, again lie down on the back, massaging. Now put your right palm over the navel. Give 3 clockwise rotations. 1, 2, 3. Anti-clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Put the right palm over the left chest. Clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Anti-clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Now left palm over the right chest. Clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Anti-clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Now put the thumbs inside your ear and forward rotation. 1, 2, 3. Backward. 1, 2, 3. Forward. 1, 2, 3. Now ear massaging. Start from the top. From top, go down. Go up. Go down. Next, on the temples on either side with the thumbs, forward rotation. 1, 2, 3. Backward. 1, 2, 3. Forward. 1, 2, 3. Now on either side of the nose with the little fingers coming down, top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom. Facial massage, keep it on either side and take your hands sideways to the top. 1, 2, 3. Next, we are going to do 14-point acupressure. Put the left hand behind the neck. on C7 with the 3 fingers there. With right hand index finger, point number 2, just 1 inch below the chest bit for half a minute. Next point, 1 inch below, about 8 breaths or half a minute. One inch further down, this will be 1 inch above the navel. Next point, in the navel, inside, pushing it upward. Next, put the thumb inside and push it downward within the navel. Now put the index finger in the navel and pull it towards the right shoulder. Next, with the index finger towards the left shoulder. Next, with the index finger towards the right thigh. Now towards the left thigh using the thumb, all within the navel. Point number 11, once again I am taking point number 11. From the right nipple, draw a line vertically downwards, locate the point and press there. This is on liver. Similarly, on the left side, spleen, point number 12. Next point, use the right thumb on the extreme right, the line joining from the navel horizontally and from the shoulder joint. Press it with thumb. Last point, from the navel, draw a line towards the left thigh and then locate the midpoint with index finger and meditate at that point. Now take away the right hand and put it on the right side and remove the left hand. Next, we do relaxation. Lie down on the back, legs slightly apart, hands palm looking upward, and be totally relaxed. Close your eyes. Think of the feet, the blood circulation, the heat circulation, the air circulation, the energy circulation are all normal. The feet are sufficiently strengthened. Let us give rest to them. Relax, relax, relax. Now think of the lower leg, that is from ankle up to the knee joint. The blood circulation, the heat circulation, the air circulation, the energy circulation are all normal. The lower legs are sufficiently strengthened. Let us give rest to them. Relax, relax, relax. Think of the two knees, the knee joints, the blood circulation, the heat circulation, the air circulation, the energy circulation are all normal. The knees are sufficiently strengthened. Let us give rest to them. Relax, relax, relax. Think of the thighs, the blood circulation, the heat circulation, the air circulation, the energy circulation are all normal. The thighs are sufficiently strengthened. Let us give rest to them. Relax, relax, relax. Now think of the lower abdomen and all the organs there. The blood circulation, the heat circulation, the air circulation, the energy circulation are all normal. The lower abdomen is sufficiently strengthened. Let us give rest to them. Relax, relax, relax. Think of the abdomen, stomach area, the blood circulation, the heat circulation, the air circulation, the energy circulation are all normal. The abdomen is sufficiently strengthened. Let us give rest to them. Relax, relax, relax. Think of the chest, the lungs, the blood circulation, the heat circulation, the air circulation, the energy circulation are all normal. The chest area is sufficiently strengthened. Let us give rest to them. Relax, relax, relax. Think of the shoulders and hands, the blood circulation, the heat circulation, the air circulation, the energy circulation are all normal. The shoulders and the hands are sufficiently strengthened. Let us give rest to them. Relax, relax, relax. Think of the neck, the blood circulation, the heat circulation, the air circulation, the energy circulation are all normal. The neck is sufficiently strengthened. Let us give rest to them. Relax, relax, relax. Think of the face, the blood circulation, the heat circulation, the air circulation, the energy circulation are all normal. The face is sufficiently strengthened. Let us give rest to them. Relax, relax, relax. The face is relaxed. The neck is relaxed. The shoulders and hands are relaxed. The chest is relaxed. the abdomen is relaxed. The lower abdomen is relaxed. The thighs are relaxed. The knees are relaxed. The lower legs are relaxed. The feet are relaxed. The whole body is totally relaxed. Let us be in this state for some more time, totally relaxing ourselves. Relax, 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 relax. Let us be like this for some more time, totally relaxing ourselves. We are now going to complete the exercise. Make slight movement to the body. You can move your fingers, hands slightly. You can move your legs a bit. You can turn your head slightly this way and that way. And now we are ready to get up. For getting up, we turn to the left side, stretch our left hand fully, and then with the support of the right palm, we get up.